You never think twice about the little things until they change. The way your spouse breathes beside you at night, the sound of their laughter in the kitchen, the warmth of their hand in yours, these things are constants. Background noise in the rhythm of your life. Until they're not. For 2 weeks, my wife, Emily, had been in the hospital, recovering from a severe bout of pneumonia. It started as a cold, nothing serious, until one night she woke up gasping, her body burning with fever. A rush trip to the ER turned into an admission, then a longer stay as complications arose. The house felt empty without her. Every night, I sat on the couch, flipping through channels without watching, glancing at my phone every few minutes, waiting for an update from the doctors. The silence was suffocating. Then, finally, she came home. I remember how I stood by the front door, watching as she stepped inside, looking smaller than before. She was still weak, moving cautiously. I took her bags, set them down, and wrapped my arms around her. She smelled like antiseptic and shampoo. "Feels good to be home," she murmured into my chest. I squeezed her tighter. "It feels good to have you home." That first night back, I helped her into bed, tucking the blankets around her like she was something fragile. She was asleep within minutes, exhaustion pulling her under. I stayed up, listening to her breathe. It was different, shallower, uneven, but she was here. She was safe. At least, that's what I thought. 2 days later, my phone rang. I was in the kitchen, making Emily tea, when the number popped up, one I didn't recognize. I hesitated before answering. "Hello? Mr. Carter?" A woman's voice, soft but serious. "Yes? This is Nurse Reynolds from St. Mark's Hospital." She hesitated, and something in her tone made my stomach clench. I was one of Emily's nurses during her stay. "I need to speak with you. In person." My grip on the phone tightened. "Is something wrong?" A pause. Then, carefully, she said, "I think it's better if we meet. Could you come by the hospital today?" I glanced toward the living room, where Emily was curled up under a blanket, flipping through a magazine. She looked fine. Tired, maybe. But fine. "Yeah," I said slowly. "I'll be there in an hour." The hospital smelled like antiseptic and stale air, a scent I'd come to hate. Nurse Reynolds was waiting for me in the cafeteria, sitting at a corner table. She was younger than I expected, mid-30s, with tired eyes and a nervous expression. "Thank you for coming," she said as I sat down. "What's this about?" My voice came out sharper than I intended. She took a deep breath. "I don't want to alarm you, but something happened while your wife was here." The hairs on the back of my neck stood up. "What do you mean?" She reached into her bag, pulled out her phone, and hesitated before placing it on the table. "I recorded something," she said. "I know that sounds strange, but I had a bad feeling." "About what?" She pressed play. At first, there was nothing but the low hum of hospital noises, machines beeping, distant voices. Then, Emily's voice. But it wasn't her voice. Not really. It was deeper. "Wrong. He doesn't know." I frowned. "What?" "Shoo. Just listen." The recording continued. "He doesn't know I'm not her." My heart stopped. I looked up at Nurse Reynolds, my mouth dry. "What the hell is this?" She swallowed. "That was recorded the night before she was discharged." I heard her talking, but when I went in, she was alone. I shook my head. "No. That doesn't make sense." She was sick. Maybe she was delirious. "I thought so too," she interrupted. But then she looked at me. She exhaled sharply. And I swear to you, for a moment, it wasn't Emily's eyes. They were darker. Different. A chill crawled up my spine. "You're saying my wife what? Got possessed?" She hesitated. "I don't know. But something isn't right." I stood up. "This is insane. My wife is fine." "Is she?" The nurse's voice was quiet. Have you noticed anything off? I thought about the way Emily moved, slower than before. How she barely ate. How, last night, I woke up to find her staring at me in the dark. A sick feeling coiled in my stomach. I turned and left without another word. When I got home, Emily was sitting at the kitchen table, hands wrapped around a mug of tea. She looked up and smiled. Hey. Where'd you go? I stared at her. My wife. My Emily. But suddenly, I wasn't sure. Just out, I said carefully. How are you feeling? She tilted her head, watching me in a way that made my skin prickle. Better. She took a slow sip of tea. Why do you ask? My throat was dry. No reason. Silence stretched between us. Then, she set the mug down and smiled. Not her smile. Too wide. Too knowing. You talked to the nurse, she said softly. My breath caught. What? Emily or whatever was wearing her face leaned forward, eyes glinting. You shouldn't have done that. The room felt too small, the walls pressing in. My pulse pounded in my ears. What are you? I whispered. She exhaled, like someone slipping off a mask. And then she laughed. A low, eerie laugh that made my stomach churn. You already know, she murmured. I stumbled back. My mind screamed to run, to get out, but my legs wouldn't move. She stood up, slowly, deliberately. You're not my wife, I choked out. Emily smiled again. Oh, I wouldn't say that. And then she took a step toward me. I don't remember making the decision to move. 1 second I was frozen, the next I was running out the door, into my car, speeding back to the hospital. Nurse Reynolds was waiting. She must have seen the terror on my face because she didn't ask questions. I need help, I gasped. My wife, she's not. She nodded. I know. That night, we returned to the house. Armed with people who knew a priest, a doctor, people who had seen things like this before. Emily, the thing inside her, was waiting. I won't tell you what happened next. Some things are better left unsaid. But I will say this. My wife never came back. Whatever left that house wasn't her. And the thing we faced that night, it wasn't human. I buried an empty coffin. And sometimes, in the dead of night, I wake up feeling watched. Because I know it's still out there. And it's waiting. For me.